Okay, I'm a couple minutes late here. I got hung up on my computer. So I'm going to give just a couple of seconds, maybe 30 seconds for people to join me because I just posted. And let's see, I'm going to keep that right there. And hi, whoever's on. We are on day 3 of our Get Results training. No, we're on day 4 of 5 of our results, live results training. This has been so fun. As you come on, please let me know that you can hear me, throw up some likes. We're going to get into a really juicy topic today. So this is day 4 of day 5. Tomorrow is the last day of this live 5-day training that I just decided to do so that I can offer some value to those of you out there. You know, I have the pleasure of being able to help my one-on-one clients create massive transformations in their life, and that feels really great. And so what I like to do is get on live and share some value with those of you who are not my clients. Some of you are. Hi, Jackie. And be able to hopefully share something with you that you can use right away in your life to start getting results in your life. Okay, so if you haven't seen the first 3 videos, I suggest that you go ahead and see them. They're here on this page, and you can just click the videos, the video tab, and it will take you through all of those, okay? Or if you're catching this on the replay, I'm in a package of 5 videos, and you haven't seen the first 4, just go back into your email, and you'll get them right there. Okay, so who am I? My name is Jessica Perez-Beebe. I am a coach. I'm a results coach. I get people results. I've been a coach for more than 10 years, I think 13 years now. I have coached people in entrepreneurship. I've coached people in health, in fitness, in nutrition, in confidence, around mindset. In fact, almost everything I coach is around mindset. It's like 10% systems and methods and 90% mindset, because everybody needs some help around strengthening their mindset. So today, what we're going to be talking about is money, which is really different type of topic for me to talk about. It's not something that I coach on. I'm not a money coach. I'm not a money expert, so to speak. But what I'm going to share with you here, and I invite you to open your mind to a different way of thinking if this is new to you. And what I'm going to be offering you here is just a different way to think and look at how you're spending, right? How you can use your buying power, and I'll talk about what that means, to get you the most massive results in your life. I've taught myself how to do this really just through trial and error. And then the more people that I'm around and experiences that I have with people who get really amazing results in their life, I realize that they are also following these same principles that I'm going to share with you today. So first question I want to ask you, and you can answer it in the comments, whether you're watching the replay or not, or you can just answer this to yourself internally, is how do you decide what to spend your money on? How do you decide, how do you make decisions on what you're going to buy or not buy, what you're going to spend your money on? Okay, so think about that. You may never have thought about that before. How do you decide what to spend your money on? How do you use your buying power? Because as a buyer, you have power. As a person, you have power. In almost everything that you do, right? Your power is in your choices. Your power is in how you respond to things, how you react, how you decide to think of things or think about things, what you decide to focus on, and you also have buying power. So think about how you make your decisions on what to spend. Now, today's conversation and this topic might trigger you a little bit, and that's okay. Money can be a triggering topic, and it doesn't have to be. But for some people, you're still there, right? You still are attached to how you think about money and how you experience money. And so this may trigger you. Let it trigger you. And if you're open to receiving what I'm sharing today, great. And if you're not, that's okay too. All right. So a lot of what we believe about money has to do with what we were taught about it, how our parents experienced it, how the people around us experienced it, what we heard them say about money. So much of that becomes ingrained in us, and we believe it. We believe it and we carry it on into adulthood, even if it's not the truth, even if it no longer serves us, even if it was just their experience, we still carry that ingrained almost in our mindset DNA. And unless we are conscious about it and can make a conscious shift and decision around it, then we continue to operate out of an outdated belief, or a belief that no longer serves us, or one that really is holding us back, or one that's not even real or true to begin with. In fact, when we're making any decisions in our life, in our present life, or for the future, if we're basing it on the past, then we're not making good decisions. And I know that that can even challenge your thought process, right? Because you say, well, wait a minute, the past is my proof that this will happen. And unfortunately, that's how we deal with people in our relationships. That's how we make decisions about relationships and about money. And it's just not the fact. The past is just a memory, and it has nothing to do with what you want to create going forward. So if for a minute you can put that to the side and you can be open to what I'm sharing, you're going to get a lot of value. So in my own personal story, my own personal experience around money and growing up, the things that I always heard were, and you may relate to this, you may not, is money doesn't grow on trees. There's never enough money. Money is hard to come by. Rich people are greedy. Money is the root of all evil. We're hardworking people, but we just get by. We're just getting by. Those words, phrases, thoughts, energy, ways of being were so ingrained in my family, in my environment that I was raised in, that it became my beliefs and experience about money. And until I was able to recognize that that's what I was acting on, I was stuck in the same cycle that my single mother was stuck in, and that all the people in my poor neighborhood were stuck in. I was stuck working really hard to just get by, to just live paycheck to paycheck, to just make it. And there was a moment in my life where I took a step back and I realized, okay, something is wrong here, because there's an abundance of money, wealth, of everything out in the world. And there are people who have been worse off than I have and are experiencing great abundance and are able to make a lot of money and don't have money problems and aren't in debt and aren't, afraid of money or, have no idea how to deal with money. So I knew that there was something I was missing. And I say this about everything in life. Just because you haven't figured out the way doesn't mean that there is not a way. In fact, if somebody else is doing, having, being, or experiencing something that you want, the only reason you don't have it is because you haven't figured out the way. There's something that you need to do differently that you haven't decided to do or you haven't thought about doing yet. And so when I was able to stop in that moment and say, okay, here's the kind of life I want for myself, and I'm really far from it, and there's a reason why. And I started to unpack my thoughts, and I started to see What was my relationship to money? What was my way of being? And so, like, I'm going to fast forward, right? There was work to be done in that around my mindset. And I did that. And I teach it to my clients. I teach it in my online program. I have all kinds of tools that help you get out of your own money mindset block. So once I was able to move from that, past that, that's when everything opened up for me. Okay, so here comes that question again. How do you spend money? How do you decide what to buy? Okay, and the reason that this is tied to the results that you can get in your life is really based on the fact that it has to do with value, right? So look around you at your life. Are you happy? Are you really not just happy, but are you joyful? Are things in your life, your relationship, your health, your lifestyle, your income, what you're doing for work, are those all really abundant? Are you feeling fulfilled, even if you haven't gotten everything that you want? Because you're never going to always have what you want, right? But are you feeling like you're on the path? You are, living in your truth. You're living in your joy, and you're having fun along the way, creating all these things. If the answer to that is no, then there's something missing. So be open to what I'm going to talk about here in terms of your buying power and how what you spend your money on yields you results or lack thereof. Okay. So are you someone who's always looking for a deal? Are you a coupon clipper? Are you looking to get things as cheap as you can get everything, right? Are you, that's a scarcity mindset, right? So are you living from that mindset? Are you living, looking for the deal, looking for the Groupon, clipping coupons for the grocery store, waiting like, what's the deal I can get? How can I get that as cheap as possible? I'm never going to spend that much money on anything. If that's the place that you're coming from, I can almost guarantee you that you have very little results in your life. And what I mean by that is you're not living an abundant life, because that type of thinking will never, ever attract abundance in your life. It just won't. And it has nothing to do with whether you are wealthy, rich, poor. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a mindset. It has to do with, what do you value? Do you value yourself enough to spend your money on things of great value? Or are you always looking for the cheapest thing? And so therefore you're getting the cheapest result. So there's something to be said for the person who's, maybe making a very small income, but uses her buying power to buy, one or two really great classic, pieces of clothing that are from a good brand and, maybe cost a couple $100s, but are going to last for a few years, versus the person who's buying a bunch of really cheap clothes that are only going to last for 6 months to a year, right? Because that person is making a decision to be the type of buyer that spends money on things that are quality. Okay, I was a massage therapist for a while. I had this conversation with my aunt after I had closed my massage business and started, started another business when I shifted into health and wellness. And I remember her saying, "Oh my gosh, I really miss getting massages with you." And I said, "Oh, there's a ton of massage therapists, and she proceeded to tell me about how she'd been doing this Groupon thing, and, she could get a massage here for $20 and a massage there. And I was referring her to people I knew were great massage therapists, and she had something going on with her neck and really wanted to take care of that. And so she didn't want to go to them because they were too expensive, right? They were $80, $90, $100, which is how much I charged as a massage therapist 10 years ago. And she instead was Grouponing everything. And I don't know how many $20 or $30 massages she got, but she was so excited about these deals that she was getting. And then ultimately she said to me one day, okay, I get your point about the Groupon massage. If you're going to have a discounted, cheap massage, those are also the results that you're going to get. You can't expect the $20 massage person to be able to serve you in the same way that somebody who is more educated or more experienced around massage and the type of massage that she needed, and somebody who really values their work and their time, that you're going to get with someone who's doing a $20 Groupon. And that's just an example. Is this triggering you? Is it making you upset? If it is, then that means take a look in your life and see where you are cheapening things up, right? Where you are selling yourself short. Okay? So same thing with a personal trainer, right? Are you going to hire someone to get you in shape who's not in shape? Are you gonna pick that person because they're $100 cheaper than somebody else, right? So there's the whole idea that you get what you pay for is really, really true. Are there sometimes exceptions? Certainly there can be, because there are a lot of people who possibly undervalue their service and don't charge. But it's a bad idea to make decisions based on cost. Your decisions need to be based on value and results. For instance, if you're hiring a coach, whether it's a life coach, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a health coach, you need to be high. If you want results, you need not be shopping for the cheapest coach. The cheapest coach does not guarantee you the best results. Obviously, they don't even make sense to go together. It doesn't mean that the most expensive coach is going to get you better results than, somebody in the middle. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you're making your decisions on how to hire someone, or, clothes to buy, shoes to buy, food to buy, based on how cheap it is, then you can't expect to get stellar results. I know that me personally, if I'm investing in myself, if I'm spending my money on anything, I want the best. Especially if I'm hiring somebody, if I'm hiring an accountant, if I'm hiring my business coach, for example. I did not use money at all to decide how I was going to hire my business coach. And let me tell you something, I didn't even have the money technically to pay for my business coach. I put it on my credit card, which so many people, you don't want. No, I put it on my credit card because I knew what I was going to learn from my coach was going to yield me lots of money in a few months, which it did, paid off the card, and then some. So when I look at an investment, I look at, what do I have to gain? Where am I going to get my best results? So when I looked for a business coach, I was looking for somebody who was far beyond me, who had created much more success than I had. And I knew when I found her, I already knew I was going to sign up with her. I was actually shocked that her price was a little bit less than I had thought, even though it was a big chunk of money, because I knew the value, and I buy based on value. I buy based on value with my food, with my wine. It doesn't mean I buy $100 bottles of wine. It just means I look for value. And if there happens to be a deal, there's nothing wrong with having a deal. If there happens to be a deal on something that I really value and that I know I'm going to get great results and good quality, then great, even better. But I'm not going to take the deal over the value. Does that make sense? That is how you create results in your life. I want the best trainer, right? I want at least one of the best trainers. I don't want the person at the 24-hour fitness, I'm sorry, who is, charging $20 an hour. I want, the person who's training, maybe the professional football player. Not that I want that kind of workout, but, I'm looking for value. I'm looking for value. In fact, sometimes if something is priced so low, I question the value. I don't trust it. And that studies prove that. So when you're purchasing, when you're using your purchase power, ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want exponential results, or I just want kind of results? And then whatever your answer is, then base your spending on that. Base your spending on that. You know, if you're hiring a life coach, look at that person's quality of life. Do they have the quality of life that you want? If they don't, it's probably not the best coach for you, right? You don't want to hire somebody because they're cheap. You don't want to hire somebody because they're cheap. You want to hire someone because they get results, and they get great results. Same thing with, you know, you don't want to buy, you know, save your money until you can get a great $100 pair of shoes instead of buying the cheap $20 pair of shoes that you're going to have to replace in a couple of months. Unless you have a child who's growing out of shoes every couple of months. You get the point here. That's just another small example. What kind of buyer are you? Are you looking for value, or are you looking for cheap? And that is going to take you really far the next time that you go to make a decision about investing in yourself, making a purchase on something. Think about that. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that today. Tomorrow is the 5th and final day of how to get great results in your life. I'm an expert at getting results in my life, at creating transformation after transformation, and that is what I help other people do. I dropped my link in the description here. If you want to book a call with me, if you're sick of getting mediocre results in your life, if you really want to step it up and you want help creating a specific plan for you this year, we can do that in a 25-minute call. I'll help you get clear on your vision. We'll decide what's blocking you, what's getting in the way, so we can remove it, and then a very specific plan to get you to the results that you want in 2018. Okay, click that link, schedule a call with me. If this supported you in any way, please let me know in the comments, share it on your pages, share it with a friend, and come back and join me tomorrow for day 5 of how to get results in your life.